Good afternoon, Nkosi Talk Shows family. It's Namsa here at Nkosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So with me today, I'm with Grant Morel and Amanda Murray. How are you guys?
Good. Good, thank you. Very good. Amanda, it's good to see you again. Good to see you.
Hey everybody, I haven't been here for a while because it's been summer vacation.
Awesome, awesome. So the topic today is the wheel of life, continue into fulfillment. So the wheel of life is a powerful self-reflection tool used to evaluate and enhance every area of your life. So you can create balance, meaning, and long-term fulfillment. So today in this video, we're going to take you guys step by step through practical actions to elevate each area of the will or to and unlock your full potential. Grant, you chose this topic. Would you like to tell our audience what was your mind?
It's purely a follow-on from last week's session where we went into the wheel of life, all the areas of the wheel of life, and we asked everybody to take note of it, to apply it, and to go through it, and to write in and let us know really what was the three key areas that they needed most improvement, and we was going to help you to deep dive on those and bring them out. So if you have got any questions here, you're listening live, please message them live, and we will Noms will message, find those and pick them up. But in the meantime, we're just going to have a quick walk through each of those sections again and just talk about how you can approach them if that's one of your three ways. So let's just take a look at that first of all. When it comes to the wheel of life, again, if you haven't done that, just take a look at the wheel of life, which we said last time, and I'll give you the key attributes of it. So there were, first of all, your business and career, and that's not money. Business and career is not money. Okay, that is how you're going to grow in your career or your business, what stages you're going to go through, what accolades you may achieve. Maybe it's a question of, do you need to change your business and career? And for each of these segments, you're just going to be drawing a wheel, and from these 8 segments, you're going to have one, just like a slice of a cake, is going to be called business and career. And you're going to mark that from the center is 1 and the outside space is 10. And you'll measure yourself. How satisfied are you at this very moment in time with your business and career? 1 is really dissatisfied and 10 is totally and utterly fulfilled. Just give yourself an honest number, 1 to 10, where are you, business and career? And on the next section will be finances. Yep, finances. That could be your salary, it could be your wages, it could be your income from your business. It could be maybe if you have a private income, you don't need to work. Maybe you inherit lots of money. I don't know, whatever. But either way, it's your finances, could include investments. Where are you? Same thing. In the middle is 1, which is really low. 10 is high. Give yourself a number, an honest number, right at this moment. But not talking about next week or next year. Right at this moment, where are you on finances? Health is the next one. Health, and that's health and fitness. So it might be health, fitness, and vitality. Where are you right now? Is there something you need to work on? Do you need to lose a few pounds? Do you need to alter your diet? Do you have a health challenge going on that you need to work on, get going? Or perhaps it's just a fitness level. Perhaps you're a sports person going for a certain attribute in your career as a sports person, and you need to work on your health or your fitness. Where are you right now on that on a scale of 1 to 10? After that, we have family and friends. Yep, it's very important, the relationships that we keep. So regarding your family and friends, where are you? Family you can't choose, friends you can, right? So where are you on that one? Are there some relationships that you have and you haven't really worked on them? You haven't really developed them enough. And if you have, do you need to put a little bit of work in there to really maximize those relationships? Perhaps you're not putting enough in, perhaps they're not putting enough in, or perhaps, you know what, sometimes you're just not right to be around each other. Perhaps some adjustment needs to happen there. Where are you on that? Romance. What's going on in romance? Do you have a romance with yourself? And that's a good place to start if you don't have a good one with somebody else. Is your relationship with yourself good? And I would always include that with romance. If not, what do you need to do? What needs to happen? Give yourself a score 1 to 10. And of course, it's not just yourself. What about the romance? Do you not have a romance? Do you need to have a romance? Are you in a romance and really rather wish you hadn't? Where's that going for you right now on a 1 to 10 with romance? The next one is personal growth. Really, really important. And in fact, I often start with this one, as we did last week, because none of the others really fall in line until you've worked on yourself. People are always trying to change other people and things around them externally, but people are too frightened to change the internal. But that's the thing that changes everything outside of you, is your personal growth. Who do you need to become in order to be the person that attracts the things that you want to have? Who do you need to become? Where are you on that journey already? Scale of 1 to 10. 1's nowhere close to it, and 10's superseded. Your spiritual alignment is overflowing, whatever. Where are you? Be honest. Be really honest. You may find this overwhelming. You might find it underwhelming. Be honest, because once you know where you are, you know we're going to explore what you need to do to get to the next part. Okay. So personal growth, super, super important, probably the most important of all of them, I would say, because all the others come from that. And then we have fun and recreation. Yeah. What are we doing this all for? What do you do when you're not doing this business, family, career, relationship? What do you do on your time off? How do you recharge? How do you reconnect? How do you center yourself? What do you do for fun and recreation? Go on holidays, climb mountains, read books, lock you away in a room and keep quiet? Do you do archery? I don't know. Do you love to talk to people? Do you hate talking to people in your time off? What is it that you do? How do you have fun and recreation, and are you getting enough of it? Give yourself a score, 1 to 10. And finally, yep, you guessed it, the thing that impulses you is your physical environment. Yep, the way what you're surrounded with. That could be, is your bedroom tidy? Is the kids' toys everywhere? Are they your toys everywhere? I don't know. What's going on? Is there mess? Is the washing up done? Is it a messy environment? Do you thrive in a messy environment? Do you really thrive in a messy environment, or do you like to tell yourself that? Or perhaps it's true. I don't know. And it's not just about that, is it? It's about the place you work, the company you keep. Do people, although we're not above observation and ridicule sometimes, but is the environment you're in, the environment of people supporting you on your goals and your journey? Is it hurting you or is it helping you? What about your environment? The people around you. Now, again, just because someone said, hey, I don't think that's right, that doesn't mean it's toxic. They're just trying to protect you. They're trying to give you the best love they can. But some people do that with love and some people do it to wound. What is it? So what about your physical environment? Or is that just blissful? If so, there we go. So these are the 8 elements, which are business and career, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, and physical environment. Amanda, what does that bring up for you? Not you personally, but what does that make you think about?
Well, I think it's really great because when you say measure it from 1 to 10 for each section, I'm like, well, I know which sections I'm lacking in for sure. And then which sections I'm like, these are good. And I think that that's something like people should probably do this like once a year, right?
Boom.
Just like at a certain point in the year, go through and just like take a little self-evaluation of where each of those sections of your life are at. And are they going to be like that forever, or is this like a certain amount of time? And I know for myself, like the romance section, I'm like, oh, that's like a one. I'm like, but I'm really busy with my daughter, right? And I'm a single mom. So I'm like, well, that might not be like this forever. But for this, at this point in time right now, like my focus is these other areas because of my child, right? And so being like making sure that my daughter, because she's 14 now and she's been my focus since I got divorced when she was 2. So that area has kind of always been like set to the side while I've been busy with her. But I definitely think if the right person came in, that could shift. Um, and then when I think about like the other areas too, it's like, so how, once you recognize those areas, so like maybe because I'm a teacher, so finances aren't like way at a 10. But like if you're in like a career like mine, then how would you then shift that so it was? And so I know like I've written a number of children's books. So like that's an area that could skyrocket and bring in more finances, right? Or there's other like speaking events maybe that I eventually could get paid for. Like there's different areas that could come in and bring in those things into my life. But what would you suggest for people where, say, those areas, specific areas aren't where you want them to be at?
So which one? The romance, the finance, or what would you say? Which ones?
Well, I would say someone who has like a set, okay, let's do the finance one. Well, if
Okay,
you have a set wage and like all across the province, the wage is exactly the same no matter where you go, because I'm a
right.
teacher. So like then what would you suggest as like ways to improve those finances? And so one of the ways that I know that I'm working on right now is like I've started learning how to invest. Then I've like been working on my books, and I know I need to start speaking more and doing more videos to just like get word out there about the work that I do on teaching and on mindfulness and on creativity. And I need to be more consistent about posting on social media, and I'm not. So those are the ones that I know
Right.
that I could work on myself. But would you have any other suggestions of ways to like?
Yeah. I mean, if you're in a job that pays a set wage and that's not going to change anywhere, there's no promotion in line, there's nothing like that, etc., then the good thing is you know how much money is coming in. You can budget to that. So that's great. So your baseline is covered. So well done on that. Secondly, you need to okay, I've got an idea here. But but what you need to then do is make sure that you're not spending all the hours that God sends doing that, because that's disproportionate. If you can only earn this much and you're spending all the hours doing it, there's nowhere to run, right? So you could be a janitor earning X amount of money, but have more free time. Now, if you're not living a lavish lifestyle, you've got a great commodity at your disposal, which is time, which is the most expensive commodity ever. With that time, you could do exactly what you've done, Amanda, and learn to invest, for example. Or, shall I say, you do that side hustle. There's lots of things you can do. And if you do it, you need to have some discipline, you need to have some boundaries and say that these are the hours I work and I do that. After that, I do not. I'm then working on something else. I'm not an advocate of working every hour of the day, because I feel the reason is exactly what we're looking at here. Other areas fall down, and when things are out of balance, nothing will ever really excel. Okay. They may for a while, but they crumble later. That's why when people say, "Oh, I shouldn't ever watch television," yeah, I think you should. You
Mhm.
should. You should balance it out. Yeah, maybe a period of time when you're like, I'm just studying for this exam, I'm doing that, or I'm working on this, or I've got to do all the hours that God sends to get my overtime up to the maximum so that my pension calculate. I've heard people, yeah, I get that. You're going to do that for a while. I understand that, but it's not sustainable over a long length of time. So with that spare time, learn to invest, get a side hustle, learn to upskill. So perhaps if you want, you can change that job later for another job, or perhaps you've upskilled so you can get that promotion in the job, obvious stuff, or just get a different job. Now, if you're looking at breaking into self-employment or working your own business, I'm a great advocate actually of side hustles. Not necessarily burn. You've heard all the stories about burn your bridges, go out the. That all sounds great, and I have known people who have pulled that off successfully, and I've really known a lot of people who haven't. So if you're first starting out in business and you've done it, it is a different world. It is. I mean, it's a world I would never swap for anything now, but it is different, first of all. And it's a lot of people, the most small businesses fail. Why? Because they go in underfunded. They go in with, it sounds ridiculous, they go in with no marketing budget. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so how was you planning on getting anywhere? I don't understand what your logic was. Well, it wasn't any logic. That's it. They thought they put an advert in the newspaper or something, or LinkedIn, and clients are going to come flying in. No, no, don't work like that. Very rarely. So not knowing. So I would really say do it as a side hustle, try it, see how it goes. You will fall over and graze your knees, undoubtedly. That's when you start paying attention. And you want to be doing that where you've got income coming in. Is a great idea, I think. There comes a time when you start learning it, getting good at it, start testing it, start making money at it. When you know what, you start getting busy, and then the job, it becomes hard. You start getting a few bags under your eyes. Good.
Yeah.
That's a really great sign, in my opinion. Right? When you get to that, that's when you need to start negotiating with your boss instead of working 6 days a week. You say, I need to do 5. And if you're doing 5, it's like, I really need to do 4. Get so good at that job that you can get the same level of proficiency and productivity out of those 4 days that you could out the 5, and they'll love you for it. That often might mean that you can negotiate, you may reduce your income a bit, but you may be able to negotiate it up a bit as well. So you won't be losing the whole day. Maybe you're only losing half a day because you become so productive at it. But what you're aiming at is the time when you have that inevitable conversation where this can't carry on. I've got to do one or the other. So when your side hustle is becoming really a full, something that's begging to become a full-time occupation, and it's not just you had a good month, it's like that's going on month after month after month, that might be the time to actually take that leap and do it. And it's you're not making too much of a jump that way. May it mean you have to take a dip in income a bit? It may do, but use that to inspire you. Have a plan so that the day you leave and go, you've got more clients you can take on. You've sold them. You've onboarded them for the week after you leave, unless you plan a holiday. So that's the way to do it. I would, in my opinion, there are different theories on this, but I think that is the safest way to do it. But you've got to be disciplined. Don't get in the comfort zone of having that job, because it's the golden handcuffs and it keeps you there forever. I've seen that as well. So it does take discipline. It always takes discipline anyway. So you may as well get disciplined at doing something that's going to help you. And just do it piece by piece and have a plan. When I get to this stage, I will do this. When I get to that stage, I will do that. When I get to that stage, I will do that. And this is exactly what I did with, it wasn't a company, but it was a client that I was kind of attached to and took too much of my time. The problem was I was very good at it, and where I wanted to reduce the hours, they wanted me to do more because I was good at it. And I said, no, you won't lose any money, but I'll be doing less hours. But this was a conversation that went over, I would say, about 18 months with them, and gradually reducing until it came to a point when it really couldn't work either side, and I had to make that clean break. And I promise you, it was incredibly liberating when I did it. Incredibly liberating. That would be my approach to it, Amanda, if that helps in any way.
Yeah, no, it does. I like how you were talking about like time is your biggest commodity, and I know for myself because I am a teacher right now, and it's also like it's a good choice right now because I can have the same time off as my daughter, and like we've just had the whole summer off, and And right now, while she's little, it's like been so great. I always say like it's the best job as a single mom because it's allowed me time with my daughter that like you'll never get back. If I was like so focused on my career right now, then I would miss all of this time that I get to spend with her, especially in the summers and on Easter break and winter break and all of those things. And so I think that I've like traded the financial piece for the time piece. But I also think too, like there's teachers who work crazy hours because they're like trying to get everything done all the time. And I've learned very quickly in my career that like used to work really long hours, like 12 hours a day minimum with marking and everything. And I've just learned to be a lot more efficient in my job so that I can do the things when I get home that are my side projects and passion projects that I hope eventually will take me in
Yeah.
a different direction, right? And so I am doing a lot of those things, but the one thing that I struggle with is the discipline to make sure that I'm like posting and some of those things I really need to focus on. And I've been just like floating around this summer, just enjoying the summer and not being as disciplined as I should be. So
Uh,
that I think is
and
really important.
it
You
does
think?
happen. I mean, I've got a friend who's been writing these books for years, and they're just not going to get written. They're just not.
No.
And the only thing I would say, and you're probably going to say I would say that because I'm a coach, but honestly, get a coach. Because
Yeah.
that's it's again it comes to the analogy when people say what does coaching cost, and well, it doesn't. It makes you money. That's the whole idea. It may cost initially, but the whole idea of it's gonna cost you a lot more if you don't. In my opinion, if you don't have one, it's going to cost you a lot more in time. You can never, as you said, Amanda, you can never ever get that time back. The richest person in the world cannot buy time.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive thing. But successful people do buy shortcuts because that gives them more time. They
Yeah.
can't create more time, but they have more free time within that allocated amount. So that successful people will buy shortcuts, and coaching is a shortcut without a doubt. You can always replace that money, and it should help you make money. It should be self-perpetuating. After a while, you're making more money from that. And this is what happens if you've got a dream. And I said this to somebody last night. I was out networking. I said the biggest mistake I'd ever made in my life is trying to work things out by myself.
Mhm.
And terrible thing to do. Terrible thing. Yeah, and most people think I'm saving money. No, you're not. You're wasting a fortune. You're wasting your life as well, because you won't do it as well as a professional. You won't. You just won't. Same as I can't decorate as well as a professional or do plumbing. No, of course I can't. That's not what I do. Right? They're going to do it much faster, much more efficiently than me, and they won't make mistakes like I would. Yeah. So if you're doing that with your business, your livelihood, you're going to spend way, way more money making mistakes and buying crazy ass things that you didn't need and the wrong mistakes and all this and getting everybody's got an opinion, but not
Mhm.
many people's opinion is actually valid for what you want to do. So this is the key part. You're going to spend that money on crazy stuff. And you're going to spend much more. You could spend less money by getting a coach who's going to watch you because they're watching you and they get to know you and can guide you and steer you, get you out of your own way. And by the way, yes, I have coaches. I'm not one of these coaches who hypocritically says you should have a coach and doesn't have one. Yeah, I've got a couple of coaches because I vehemently believe in this. And not only is it the money, not only is it the time, because if you get successful quicker, you're then, how much more money is that going to make you? So that's another bunch of money you're going to make that you wouldn't otherwise be making in that time. And then there's energy. And here's the killer. If you try to figure things all out by yourself, in my opinion, some people can do it, not many. I've been doing this job for a long time, and not many people can do it by themselves. And I'm constantly amazed at the amazing people that I coach who don't know how to manage themselves. It never, ever ceases to amaze me. It really doesn't. They can manage other people all day long. They can do this wonderful, and they go, "Oh my God, I didn't think that." Recently, I was in Vegas, and I did for someone very, very senior, in law enforcement, very, very senior, was in my class. And I took them through a model.
Hold on, Grant. Hi, guys. Facebook, LinkedIn. Can you please, guys, if you have any questions, can you just type and bring them in, please? If you have any questions, don't worry about what people think. Just type them and we'll answer those questions, please, regarding the topic. So the topic is the wheel of life. So continue the fulfillment. Please, if you can type. Yeah, you can continue, Grant.
Thanks, Nomsa. Energy. You run out of energy. You run out of energy, you never complete your dream. And you end your life wondering, why did I never do that? So yeah, it takes a bit of discipline. You put it to someone else, it saves you making mistakes. And that energy is the energy you need to complete your dream. So it's time, massively valuable. Money, you'll save a lot of money, and energy. So when people ask me, what does coaching cost? Well, it doesn't. It really saves you money. Yes, you may need to pay out initially, but guess what? You're a business. Of course you do. And
What do you want to do, Amanda, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, just like because I'm a teacher, so like my finances in my career are essentially, unless I go into administration, like they're sad, right? And so if I wanted to have like goals in that area, because I'm like not super happy with what I get paid as a teacher, what avenues would you take essentially? And he said, because I have the value of time, like make sure that my career isn't taking up all my time, so that I have time to do side hustles, and which is what I'm doing anyways, right? And so that was kind of just my question, is how, and then again, it's like the discipline to make sure that you're doing it and you're showing up.
I
And
think if it is the discipline, you need to also need the accountability partner.
yeah, I was just gonna say that you need an
well, that's what a
accountability.
coach will do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
need the accountability partner. I've got too many coaches. Like right now, I'm
do they
doing
not do accountability for you, though, not so?
eh?
Do they not do accountability for you, the coach?
Who?
Your coaches?
Oh no, I do have coaches, but we do have accountability calls like every week, every Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do that. So I was explaining to Amanda that for me, I have coaches in every area of my life.
yeah,
My spiritual life, I've got spiritual coaches, I've got spiritual fathers that are guiding me through.
yeah, yeah.
Relationship, I've got coaches. Business, I have coaches. My coach is Sai. It was days now with Sai. I think you just need to, and also what the other thing that I've noticed myself, YouTube is actually can teach you. It's a university. YouTube actually can. I have saved so much money on YouTube. Honestly, like the other day, I wanted to stamp my email address, and no one was available to do that straight away.
Uh-huh.
So I went and created and did it myself. I even did it better. So yeah, I did it myself. I think it took me like maybe 30 minutes to work it out. But YouTube is a school, or it's a university. It's like in Gossip Talk shows, it's a university. So you just have to go and find the videos, but you have to be disciplined. This is where the problem comes in. You have to, you have us here at Ngozi Talk shows, actually. You can pick one of us. If you're really, really, really serious, I've said this to Carol Anna, if you're really, really serious to start and say, you know what, now I need to start building something, you can then ask us to hold you accountable. But you have to be disciplined. That's where the problem is. But for me, I just know that if I don't do things, no one will do it for me. And I have Actually, and sometimes because I'm fasting and I'm praying a lot, sometimes the Holy Spirit tells me to get up and do something. Or even when I'm sleeping, if I fall asleep and not doing anything, it wakes me up like, up, time to do something. So I'm like, I was enjoying my sleep. So you have to have accountability partner, like Grant says. You have to have, because a coach gives you, I've seen it, there are some coaches that are not good.
Yeah, right.
Some coaches will want to take you back to the beginning where you've been, and they'll be like, I'll do this, I'll do a launch, I'll do this, or I'll build a website. I'm like, why would you want to build me a website if I've already have a website? Make me, I even tried with Tony Robbins' coach. She was like, I will build you a website. But then what I've realized that when they build a website, they're linking you to their website. It's like, I don't need a website. I need somebody to help me to make money, bring more clients. I couldn't work with them. Honestly, it was like, if you pay £2,500, it will help you to build a website. I was like, I've already got a website. Why don't you take me to where I am to the next level? So most of them, they want to build you they want to change the brand. Most of the coaches that I have realized, they want to,
Just to put it out there, guys, I don't.
yeah, most of them,
I don't do that.
even most of the ones that are coming here or on a thing, they're like, I helped my clients to make millions and millions. But when you go to them, their program, they take you to the beginning, but there are some that have beginners programs. There are some that have people that are in the middle. Like if you're making £100 a year, 100,000, 100 grand a year, they take
Yeah,
you from that part, or 50,000, you are in the middle. So they've separated people, but
absolutely.
some is just the beginning. And I'm like, why would you want to take me from the beginning if I'm not? So that is the one thing to look for, Amanda. If you one day you decide to look for a coach, you are not a beginner. So you
Yeah.
just want, yeah, a coach that wants to build you, to take you. And I can teach you as well. I can help you as well to actually build whatever you want to build. I can teach you, or Grant can as well. And then you can go and find or you can actually go to Grant as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
So always think of that, though. But I mean, you know this, Amanda, right? You know this stuff anyway. You know that that's the thing. So I'll answer it on behalf of yourself or anyone else listening. Don't be afraid. It's like when it comes to advertising your business. And I was saying to someone I was coaching the other last week actually, don't be afraid to spend money on advertising. Yeah, if
Yeah.
Yeah.
you once you've got your organic stuff working, once that's working and you want to get bigger, you've got to throw money at advertising. Will it always get right? No, no.
Yeah.
But this is again your mind. This is where you need a coach to keep you straight, because it's too easy to say, "Oh, I'm losing money." Yeah, well, I was talking to someone last night who was a stock market trader, and they lose millions. They make
Mhm.
many more millions than they lose. You've got to be okay with losing.
Yeah.
You've got to have that mindset in the right place. And again, it comes back to coaches. They keep you straight on that. It's tough to do on your own. I'll make no bones around it. It's tough to do, but you've got someone as not to say to hold you accountable, and that's huge, huge. You've got to have a coach who can actually take you to task and sometimes pull you on. Some of the testimonials I've got is, "Hey, Grant, kick my ass," but done it with love. But kick my, and they say that amazingly often, because otherwise you'll get away with doing what you've always done, and that's always got you where you've got so far.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to, again, it comes back to that wheel of life, doesn't it? And it's that question, it's personal growth. Who do I need to become to be the person that gets the things that I want to have? It's not just wanting it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All this visualization is going to happen. All this manifestation. Yeah, it works an awful lot better when you have a plan wrapped around it. I can promise you that. Then those things really start to get some traction. It's not just imagining it. It doesn't work. Not on its own. And I know one of the people who was in The Secret. and they told me that. Yeah, and so yeah, that's from the horse's mouth. We know you've got to do some work. You've got to have a plan. You've got to work on yourself, and by all means, visualize and manifest. By all means, do that. Together, it's a great combination. But you've got to put the groundwork in, and takes discipline. It does. If you look at the most successful people, look at Richard Branson, when he set up his airline. Did he get mentored? You bet he did. You bet he got mentored. Of course he did. He got Freddie Laker, who was the guy who used to run the biggest budget, the first budget airline in Britain. It eventually went bust, but you know what? He knew more about that industry than anyone else in the world. So he hired him. Obvious. You know what I mean? Obvious, isn't it? You know, you want to know how to do a certain thing, you ask the teacher. Right? That's what teachers are there for. It's
Mostly the people that have done it before as well. It's like YouTube. I've been spending a lot of money on YouTube, but then I make an appointment with people and they want me to spend more money. But
yeah,
then I realized the other day I was sitting here, I was like, let me check other videos. And then I check this girl. She's saying don't post your videos direct. If you post your videos, like the ones that you download, don't post them. You have to post them private for 2 days and then you put them public. So
right.
I did test that. And then I put my videos private, uploaded videos, put them private. And then after 2 days, I put them public. And actually it worked. And I was like, why do these people want me to spend money while they know that this actually is the system that works? They actually don't download the videos direct. But to me, when I try to sit down with them, they're like, no, it's cost lots of money, even to get like 10 views or 20 views, it costs lots of money, so you have to pay us to market per video. And then I was like, no, there must be something that they are doing, because even when I pay money, it doesn't work. So then I'm realizing that's what everybody's doing. They upload the videos, and then 2 days later, or one day, like the following day, they put it public. So I was like, okay, but I'm learning as I go along. So that is important, Amanda, sometimes to actually do things like myself. I'm just at this moment, I've put everything, my head is on pause. I just need to learn how to use AI for marketing. I need to do it myself as well. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be a big one for a number of things for sure. It's interesting because being a teacher and I'm listening to the conversation and then I'm thinking about kids and I'm thinking about like teachers generally in schools generally they believe that you go to school and then you go to university and then you like get a job and you'll be happy is right like essentially like the lie that we're told and that you'll get a good job and you'll have that job and that's not the truth and it's far from it, right? And there's lots of people with like multiple degrees who like work at Starbucks, and then there's
Mm.
people with like zero education and are multimillionaires. And then why is it that we're sold this belief and then we see all of these people who are like doing really well for themselves and have no education whatsoever? And so when I think about these things and I think about career and health and relationships and finances and the kids that are starting out, like what would you suggest for them when they're like graduating high school and you're like, okay, you have to look at this pie and figure out like where do you want to be in each of these areas? Like I don't know, can you be a 10 at all of the areas at all
Some
at once?
people are pretty, yeah. I mean, again, if you do a lot of personal development and like I hate to say it again, coached, and all this stuff. Yeah, it gets you closer. It gets you a lot closer without any shadow of a doubt. In my experience, and the people I've known, the people who are in that environment, there's
Yeah,
another word to say, they're in that supportive environment. They're being coached. They're being supportive. They're being held accountable. They're having fun. They're learning
yeah.
to manage their fight. All these things, it all comes together because they're working on what? Personal growth. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. They're becoming the person that these things fit.
Yeah.
That's the fundamental there. So many people, they go and buy this book, and as someone said, buy a book. And I said to someone last night, yeah, well, we know books are great, but to a point. The problem is you can't ask a question of the book. It's because if it all worked, you just go and buy the mini MBA and you'll be multimillionaires. How
Yeah.
come you're not? Right? They'll take you so far and they're great, but they'll take you so far. That's it. This is why I was on a conference at the weekend and they gave us the book free.
Yeah.
Fantastic book. But they know you won't be able to complete it by yourself.
Mhm.
Right? That's a fact. It's just a given. You do need to, and that starts to separate successful people before you start. Because if people are, and this is why I said to this client the other day, don't be afraid to pay for advertising. Not pay me because I don't do advertising. That's not what I do. But don't be afraid to once you've got your advertising right. Because if you're not going to do that, you aren't going to get there. I'm being honest, you're not. You're just not. And will you spend some money on advertising and will it not work? Well, almost definitely. But you've got to go through that. If you're not willing to do that, that's why some people get successful. They keep going. They have that purpose, they have that dream. And when you've got these things aligned, that gives you that strength and that energy. When you're being coached, you've got that extra energy. You're not dispelling that energy. That's what keeps you in the game. That's what gets you across the finishing line. And this
Yeah.
is a lot of
What
people
you're
tell
saying,
you.
I'm rereading this book, The Education of Millionaires, Everything You Won't Learn in College About How to Be Successful.
Yeah.
And I've read this book more than once. And so I'm rereading it again. And I do that quite often on books that I think are really, really great. And it does talk about like the importance of advertising. It does talk about the importance of not necessarily getting a coach, but about how when you want to do something, like go and work for somebody that does that already,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So that you
yeah.
can learn from them. And it's not, and if you do need to take a course, it's like take a course here and there, and then you go, you get what you need, and then you go and work some more, and then you go and continue. And my very
I'm a
successful
great believer in
that
that.
I have
Yeah.
haven't gone to school for like a complete degree. They like started out in an area that they were really interested in, and then like take courses here and there on what they need to know
Yep.
based on their career,
Absolutely.
and then they continue to grow. And so when I talk to people, but it's different when you like, if you want to be a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse, like you have to go to university to get those certifications, which is what I did because I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And so but it's not everyone wants to be a teacher, right? If you don't, I say to kids all the time, I'm like, if you don't know what you want to do, like do not go to university right away at all. You should
No doubt of it.
find out, go and explore and try things that you think that you want to do. And then if you really like it, then go and take the courses to do that. If you want to be a teacher, go volunteer in a classroom for a while and see if this is
Mm.
something that you really want to do. I always taught in some capacity because I was a lifeguard and a swimming instructor and I worked at summer camps. And so all of my career, my whole life has been surrounded about teaching. So I knew that I wanted to be a teacher because that's the jobs that I would pick, right? And so I think sometimes when you are looking at things, like lots of people will be like, "Oh, I've got my degree. It's only 2 more years to like get a teaching certificate, so I'll just go do that." And it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that because
Why before
that's
you
why
blind?
we have so many people who leave the profession after 5 years is because you don't actually truly want to do it. You just like have
That's a
this
really big thing.
degree
Yeah.
and you are like, oh, I'll just go be a teacher because you like know that it's only 2 more years. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I really think that if you're going into something, that you need to surround yourself with people who are already doing what it is that you want to do.
Yep.
And then take courses here and there to continue to expand.
I,
And they say the marketing piece is the biggest part in this book too.
I would, marketing is everything.
Mhm.
It's everything. But I mean, your mindset and marketing. But I mean, I agree. I mean, people say, "Oh, I want to save time, get a job straight away." Yeah. Again, like 1 year of your life. How long are you going to be alive for? Probably quite a while, right? You're never going to remember that 1 year. Just spend that year doing things. And I agree with you. My father used to say to me, "Give it a try, son. Give it a try. If you don't like it, do something else.
Yeah.
Don't spend all that time doing something you don't like. That's the trick. But I mean, you don't know what you're going to like. I mean, some people do from an early age know exactly what they want. Wow, you are very, very lucky if you do. You want to really, really, really be that footballer or that actor or that run that cake shop or whatever it is fantastic. If you're hell bent on that, wow, you are lucky and you know. Most people don't know. And as you say, the mistake is you study something for 3, 5 years. Studying is different to doing the job.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely volunteer. Get a flavor. What do you do in the supermarket when a new product comes out? They have a sample. You try it before you buy it, right?
Yeah.
Why do you not do that with something as important as your career? You're crazy. Like people go and buy houses, the most expensive things in their lives, probably. And they move in and say, oh, the neighbours are horrible. Oh, there's a lot of noise in the street. What? You mean to say you didn't stay the night in a car and see what happens overnight in the house? We just spent your whole money on. Are you crazy? I'd be camping out in a car and just seeing what goes on in that street. I'd do that. I offered that as a service once when I was a private investigator. Just stalk your street, just see what it's like. Because the brochure ain't going to tell you that stuff. I will.
They're selling Grant. Why would they tell you?
They didn't tell me. I found out. And I reported back.
I was telling my friend yesterday that actually when I did marketing myself, what I did when I started my business with my website, because it was built by someone, they handed it over to me. So
No.
what I did was every week I'll go and change the keywords. I'll do marketing direct with Google myself,
Uh-huh.
ask them to do marketing for me, I'll pay them direct. But then every week I'll go play with the keywords with the SEO. I had to learn how to do it. But then I was like, the clients were coming in like mad. And I was like, now I'm handed over to someone to do big marketing for me. I'm being told to be patient. And when I try to go and play with the keywords, I don't know what they're doing. I can't do it. So I was telling her that I'm just gonna be patient for 1 year, and then after that, yeah, I'm taking over and do what I did before. Because I thought, okay, what I did before was working, but maybe somebody else might do it. But I'm sharing this to you, Amanda. Sometimes it is good. I've listened to one of pastors as well, Dr. Stella. I'll send you her video. She said sometimes if you want a web designer, learn to build the website as well. So you know what is going on. Like you are a web designer, Amanda. You can design a website. So she says, learn to do it as well. So you will know what is going on behind. And she was like, she had to learn to put solar panels. She said she saved herself 200,000 pounds or something. But she said there's this university that is free, which is YouTube. So she said she has to go and learn to YouTube on YouTube how to do it. And when people were coming in and messing her with that messing about, so she decided to do it. She said, I actually did a good job. So from that day, she said every department of her business, she's learned how to do it, although she has the employees that work for her. But when she wants things done, she says that to have the knowledge is better than not knowing. Some things might take time, but she was like, go and tell someone, this is what I want you to do step by step. Go and do it for me. So she says it took her time. But she says if the website
It
designer
would
quit,
take a
she's
time.
very, very intelligent. She's a doctor. She has her own clinic.
Mhm.
So she was like, if the website quit today, I can go and build my website. If somebody quits in this department, I can go and take over because she said she had to learn it, but the hard why. But you can still use YouTube. You can still get a coach to hold you accountable as well. But for me, I've started doing what she's doing. I'm like, Because with like, I've realized even with YouTube, I was like, I wish I had learned this a long time ago then, because I spent so much money on YouTube. And I was like, I wish I had spent, I actually uploaded a video and then I come out of it, 100 people had already seen the video, viewed the video within like less than 2 minutes. So then I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, and also the training, invest on training as well. If anyone is watching, invest on a coach, invest on trainings. I'm not saying that there are events where you go, they'll offer you to buy trainings. I'm not saying do that, because that training that you buy every week for business event, you put them on the shelf. So what you need to do is buy training that you actually need, that you're going to sit down that moment.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and use it. When you need something, you can go and look at someone on Facebook that has the training that you need, pay for that training. It's actually really, really useful. Just pay for the training. When you pay for the training, and just implement it straight away in your business.
That's what I've always done. I've
Yeah.
only ever bought the training that I need at that moment in time. I've never gone and bought all the bumper bundles. I've never gone down that route. Never.
Yeah, but some people, granted, they go to business event every
Oh, I
month,
know.
every
Oh,
week,
I know.
and they,
Oh, I know.
you see them queuing, because I used to go to business events a lot. And I see people when they say, like, when they are upselling now, and then the same people, you see them like the training for £10,000 or £5,000, they are queuing. And I'm like, one day I had to ask one of the girls, I was like, how come every training I see you, every coaching business event I see you, you always buy something? What do you do with these trainings?
You,
And she was like, I don't know.
and you know what? That's where often people hire me because they bought all the stuff and they get confused. They don't know who comes back from Nanda. They don't know what they want to do. So they buy everything and then they hire me if they've got any money left. And quite
Yeah.
often the sad thing is they haven't at
Mhm.
that point and they can't get help. They've spent it all. But if they had got a coach at the beginning, they never would have made those mistakes. And that's
It's
the
important
point.
to have
That's
the
what I
right
mean
coach
about
too.
it saves you money because that's the point. You wouldn't have made those mistakes. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying training. It's great, but you get to understand the training they need. But the client who I make the most money for in the shortest time ever was a question of me telling him not to buy this, not to buy that, only to buy this for now. To
Yeah.
do that, maximize it, and then move on. Then, by doing that strategy, yeah, and they spend so much money. I mean, it's good for them to get a try, but I believe you could try looking at things a lot more affordably. And I come in as effectively the glue to help them then understand who they are, what their abilities are, what their true passion is, their true purpose is, and then say, that's the thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great example that you gave there, Nob, so that it led into it. And as you said, also a lot of these successful people you read the book, they buy the training that they need. One of the most smartest people I ever knew was a guy, and I was on an NLP course with him years ago. And I've done two NLP practitioners, two NLP masters, and trained a trainer. And the first, let's get this right, the first NLP practitioner I did, he was there. He was a furiously intelligent guy, very high. He used to work in the city and then said to hell with that. And he bought a little strip of land in the countryside, home educates his kids, doesn't shave too often, showers every day, doesn't shave too often, jumps on Zoom calls and tells his clients what to do, does that, doing the same job but from home. And he learnt his NLP course and he did the practitioner. Very bright, very bright. And then we all went on quite some time after to do the masters. And we said, you're going to do the masters? He said, no. Why not? You're really good. He said, don't need it. He said, I just wanted to do it to get the idea so that I can communicate better with my clients. That's all. He got the idea and he was so bright. he embellished it for his needs.
Yeah.
He just got the general idea. Really entrepreneurial guy. He just got the gist, and this works in all areas of life. I remember seeing a thing about the Beatles, the band, and when George Harrison went to see the Maharishi, and I think to learn to.
I live a few minutes away from George Harrison Grant.
What's that? You live very close?
A few minutes away, yeah.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
follow his wife on I follow his wife on Instagram, actually. Great believer of him, lovely. Well, we'll talk about that later. So, what he did when he went there, Donovan taught them finger picking acoustic guitar, and he taught that to John Lennon and Paul McCartney. And he said John Lennon, being the sort of person who was, he very quickly adapted it to his own style. So he didn't just copy it; he got the idea. Sorry, that was Paul McCartney done it. John Lennon picked out good, and Paul McCartney, being very bright as well, he got the idea, then made his own style. And that, of course, is entrepreneurialism. There we go. So I would say the key thing that we've really pulled out today here, and if you look at my takeaway from this would be, as we close, is get to know who yourself is, get to know why you're doing anything, and get to know why it's important, and balance out this wheel for yourself. Balance it out. Make incremental steps to get each one better. Don't beat yourself up over it, but just get clarity where you are and move the needle consistently. You're getting dopamine going to your head when you're constantly getting a win moving. If you're at a 4, what's it going to take to get you to a 6? Don't worry about 10. What's it going to take you from 4 to 6? Once you get to 6 and even that out, so there's no big gaps, then how would you edge it up to an 8? And then get curious how you just get it up to a 9. Because I promise you, once you get to 9, it's going to be a walk in the park to get to 10. And that's what I would say. Because when you do that, but work on yourself, do not be afraid to invest in yourself, because you've seen so much evidence of it in this call. We're talking about successful people will always invest themselves. Because if you
Come
don't,
to Ghost Talk Show, guys, to invest for yourself. We've got great coaches.
if you don't invest in yourself, guess what? No one else is gonna. You watch Dragon's Den, Shark Tank. They asked if you got money. If you got money, like, what do you need our money for? Oh, I see. You haven't got confidence to invest in yourself, but you want us to. I'm out. That's the fact of life. So do your due diligence. Get a coach who's going to resonate with you, not necessarily one you like, but one who's going to push your buttons, bring your stuff out. It can be an uncomfortable journey, but it can be fun as well. And they're going to really bring it out of you. All right. And push you a little bit, because otherwise it's too easy to not do it. And they will help you with this. They will hold you accountable. And accountability is just a small part of coaching, but they will hold you accountable. It's important, but small part. They'll do that. They'll understand you. They'll get you forward. They'll save you time, money, and energy, and help you get to past the winning post. And they'll see the things that you can't see about yourself. One of the best things you ever do. You want to know about it? Contact the show. Speak to Nobsa. Speak to me. Speak to Amanda. We'll help you. We'll guide you and find one that's right for you. And that will be my advice on the wheel of life. How about you, Amanda?
I really think that you should take a really hard look at the wheel of life and what you said to search on the internet before the show went on with the wheel of life, the key areas, and look at that and then actually self-evaluate. And then once you've self-evaluated all of those areas, then go and say like, okay, which areas am I low in and which areas am I really high in? And then how can I bring those low areas up so that it's more balanced all the way around?
Yeah, and if you missed last week's show, go back and look at it, because we covered it all there for you. Thanks for that, Amanda. Nobson?
For me, guys, I leave you with this. Accept without judgment. Don't shame yourself for low scores. This exercise, when you do it, is about awareness, not perfection. Compassion towards yourself is really important. It opens doors to the door to real change. I'm doing it myself. So everybody else, we do it all the time. So it's really, really, really important to actually just have a look at the things that are not working in your life and that will, and make some changes. I'm making some changes, guys, in my finances. That's my goal. I'm doing training right now. I've got to go, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta go.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody.